It is 7 o'clock. We will get started here. First of all, welcome to our candidates forum this evening. My name is Ryan McGahee, and I'm the news director at RadioWorks here in Worthington. And we have a couple of different candidate forums combined into one event tonight. We will begin with the candidates for the Nobles County Board of Commissioners, and they will go for between a half an hour and 40 minutes or so, and then we'll move over to the candidates for Minnesota House District 21B. I got it right. I'm always so tempted to say 22B because it was 22B for many, many years. We will have a similar format for both forums. What we're going to do is that we will have each of the county commissioner candidates introduce themselves for 2 minutes. Now, two of our candidates are running unopposed, and so they will give introductions, but they are not going to participate in the question part. That will be two of our candidates that are running against each other. They will be part of that forum, and these two, well, maybe they'll just go in the audience and have some popcorn. I don't know what you're going to do, but they won't be part of that particular forum. Then we will have a closing statement from each of our candidates that are running against each other. I don't think we're going to have closing statements from our unopposed candidates. Is that what we decided? I didn't write that one.
We said they could.
They could if they'd like. Okay, perfect. Then after the county commissioner forum gets done, we'll move to this side of the room and we will have our state house candidates, and they will follow a similar format. They'll introduce themselves for 2 minutes, and they'll answer the question. Each will have a minute to answer the question. There'll be no rebuttals. We're not doing rebuttals tonight. If they want to refute something the other said, they can do that in their closing statement. That will hopefully keep more questions going, and it seems like in the past, sometimes rebuttals have brought up redundancies, and it just keeps some things from getting talked about. So, you didn't come to hear me talk. We're going to start with the county commissioners, and we will start where the microphone is, and Bob Damuth is our first candidate, and he will tell us that he's unopposed and a little bit more than that.
Good evening. Are we working? Are we working?
Yep.
There we are. Okay. Good evening. It's nice to see a nice crowd tonight. I hope you all have. Eat the mic.
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Bob Damuth Jr. I'm running for District 4 County Commissioner. I'm running unopposed. If in your mind's eye you want to know where District 4 is, focus on the bicycle bridge. I finger in just a little bit downtown, but then I follow South Shore into Eckerson's Addition, into Apple's Addition, keep hugging the grade and going to the Lake Avenue. Then I go up into what we know as Pocatello Heights. So that is my district. I was born and raised here. I was in the insurance business for 31 years. My dad started about 60 years ago. It still has the name of the Damuth Agency, but I've been retired from there for about 17 years. I took office on January 4, 2019 as a county commissioner. I replaced Norm Gallagher, who retired. I look forward to being your commissioner for another 4 years, and would appreciate your vote if you're in my district. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Justin Allers, County Commissioner, District 1. If you want to know where District 1 is, we start on Monroe Avenue and head to the Jackson County line. Then we're from the Nobles-Murray line down to the Iowa border, as well as the Watland edition of Worthington. I've been commissioner for 7.5 years now. I'm a farmer and self-employed contractor. I've worked hard trying to keep our taxes as low as we can while still providing essential services to the county. So I would appreciate everyone's support again in District 1. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bob Apple. My district is from County Road 5 to Rushmore and 220th Street to the Iowa border. And then I get Noble Street out on the south side of town, and I get part of where Schultes Motors is, and go up to Clary and come back that way around. So that's my district there so far. So anyway, I have been married to my wife Brenda for 25 years. I have 4 children. I have 12 grandkids, and I did when I became a commissioner in 21. I was working for Johnson Builders, and they were good bosses. They let me take off whenever I needed to do commissioner work. And now I retired from that for January 1st of this year. So now I'm devoted completely to that right now. So being the commissioner for Nobles County. So anyway.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Jean Johnson. I'm running against Bob here for District 3. I'm a longtime resident of Nobles County. I was born here in Worthington. My roots run deep here. For at least 4 generations, my family have lived here, farmed, worked, and raised their families. I'm a proud graduate of Worthington High School in Minnesota West, and I've dedicated the last 7 years of my life to serving as a social worker, primarily in Nobles County. I'm running for county commissioner because this is the place I call home, and I believe in the potential of our community. I've had the privilege to watch our community grow and change over the years, and as a social worker, I have a unique perspective and understanding on cultural and diverse issues. I've worked extensively with community members from many different ethnic and cultural backgrounds at all stages of their lives. At the same time, I had very close relationships with my grandparents and a deep understanding of older generations' values and perspectives. As community members, we each have a fantastic opportunity and responsibility to serve. And I think it's safe to say that Bob and I talking, we have a lot in common. We both love home, and we both look forward to our future. My vision for our county is one where everyone feels safe and valued and has access to the opportunities they need to thrive. It's a county where we reach out to our neighbors and work to build resilience and a sense of belonging for all Nobles County children and families, creating a stronger and more vibrant community.
All right. I should add, I don't think I said this at the beginning, but anyone who wants to have a question asked tonight, Chris from Ford Worthington is wandering about the room. You want to do a little wave or something to her, and she'll come and get your question and make sure I get it. One additional brief note, please, when you bring a question forward for asking, please make sure it is a question that can be asked of both candidates, not just of one specific candidate. Okay, so let's get ready to roll here. Let's get ready to rumble. We'll start with a question for the county commissioners. The question is, are county taxes too high, about right, or pleasantly low? And obviously elaborate on that from there. And we'll start with Jean. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I've never heard anyone not complain about their taxes. So that's something we hear from everyone. It's concerning when we see levies go up every year, starting in 2020 from 4%, and this year I think they introduced 18%. So, well, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But that number's going to get cut significantly.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So, yeah, I've never heard anybody not complain about taxes. So,
Okay, Bob?
I do agree that they are high, but it's state mandated, and if we don't follow the rules from the state, we don't get no federal funding back. So that's how we got to follow the rules from the state. And the other thing is that my personal feeling is that it would be nice if we didn't have to pay any taxes, but everybody likes roads, the bridges to get across, things like that. So that's part of the circumstances that we have to live with.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
On any other question? Good.
I'm not gonna say no.
Per capita, we are on the lower end of the 87 counties in Minnesota. So per capita, we're on the lower end. We're not the bottom, but we're on the lower end.
Bob will start this time. And the question that I'll ask here, the county has a lot of different kinds of needs. Where do you see the biggest needs in Nobles County that need addressing?
My feeling is, I don't know about the rest of the commissioners, but the roads are the biggest part, and the bridges, of course. And if we don't take care of them, we won't be able to drive on the roads, of course. And the other one is like the ditches in the waterways. We need to have those get kept up too. So, and if my answers are pretty short, I get to the point, I don't babble on, sorry. So.
I'm normally a babbler, but I'm new to this, so I'm gonna be quick. Roads and bridges are important to everybody. Clearly, one thing that I think is really important is connecting our community members to one another, making it feel like this is home for everyone. We also need some businesses and some economic growth in our communities. And ways for, someone told me not to say so much, and I don't know how many times I've said it now, but do it again, I'll do it again. One of the concerns is making, ways for our farmers. I think I've had 3 people approach me this week to tell me that they really wanted to get started in the farm industry, but it's hard to start new. So connecting some of our older generations to our younger generations so that we can pass on our strong culture, heritage really in the industry. I'm not great at speaking in front of people, so I like individual talking.
It's all good. Now this is a question about a certain kind of costs that the county has to expend. How can you describe the costs of county tile repairs? How is the farmer able to pay those costs, and how can tile support extra flow? I'm glad I don't have to answer this question. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna take this one, if that's okay. This is clearly spelled out in statute 103D, subdivisions 1 through 12 of the Minnesota Drainage Code. This is not driven by any one county commissioner or against any one county commissioner. It is in black and white statute how this works. If you have questions on that, please see me afterwards. I will explain it further in depth for you. But the county board does not have any say over the proceedings of county ditches. Do you want to try it or not?
Absolutely not.
Within the last 3 years, I have been educated on that process, and Justin is very correct on that. Because we sit on quite a few ditches together on that. And it is state mandated, we just gotta follow the rules, what they hand down to us. And we have a lawyer present at each ditch meeting, so if there's any conflict or anything, he takes charge of that, and he quotes statutes, which to me don't mean nothing personally, but it means a lot to them, so that's all I can say about that, because it's all state mandated. I'm good.
Yeah, you're
All right. Well, Gene, I think you are supposed to start this one. You're going to start, and then it got passed down. So now both of you, of course, Bob is an incumbent county commissioner. Both of you are private citizens as well. What element of the county government do you see as being the most effective?
Quite honestly.
Okay, well then, I'm going to add something to the question. Is there an element of the county that you see that is needing to become more effective.
How can you help out the county in your
Right.
position?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think our emergency response program with the county has been amazing this year. They've done a lot of hard work. Through COVID, our public health department and our commissioners all worked hard together. The place where I am most familiar with is social services, and developing a way to be more culturally understanding of the different diverse populations in our community would be a place where I would probably focus on. And so that's where I'm gonna end.
Bob?
What I think I can help with is like construction. I've been doing it for the Johnsons for 39 years. And I'm on the fire department. I'm a firefighter and a first responder, so that helps out in different ways. And I've been trained to do different things, so that's about all I got.
Bob, we'll start with you this time. The District 518 Board of Education, as well as the City of Worthington, have allotted money toward a new hockey/ice facility. The county voted several months back, said that we're gonna take part of that. Is that something that you would continue to support moving forward? I've heard little bits and pieces that, well, maybe we can convince the county to come up with some money, more than zero. What's your take on that?
As the county stands right now, no, we're not going to participate in the new hockey building. My stand is that I don't mind putting money into the existing one, because right now we give money to the fairgrounds. And then if that pulls out of there, we'll have to give more money to the fairground to subsidize the new building. So where I stand is I would like to throw some money towards the existing hockey building. So that's my stance on that.
Angie?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Just popped in my mind. The other thing is that we're trying to keep the levy down, and if we donate 2 million or 4 million towards that, it'll bring your levy up. So we're trying to keep the taxes down for one. That's pretty much through the commissioners. I pretty guarantee that's how they feel so far. So, but that's just personally my opinion. So.
That's okay, thank you. I think the commissioners right now had a hard decision to make. My understanding is a lot of them have family members that are involved in the youth hockey program, so it wasn't a decision that they made lightly. But I do think that we need to have continued collaboration and discussions with the hockey board in the district to kind of get an understanding. That money that they wanted was too high, the project was too big, the taxpayers couldn't go there. But any program that encourages youth development, especially for something in the wintertime when there's not much for kids here to do, it's an opportunity to look for ways to help and support that.
Gene? As many, looking around the room here, I don't know how many people in this room have children, grandchildren in childcare, but of course, you hear about childcare everywhere, the need for childcare, whether it's Nobles County, the state of Minnesota, across the country. How can the county perhaps play a role in creating more childcare opportunities?
Well, I believe that the county has been working to develop a program to support child care opportunities. Licensing requirements for child care has become more difficult for independent child care providers. So I think that they're already doing a great job. Wish we could make it move faster. I'm sure they do too. But they're crossing all their T's and dotting all their I's, and so they're well aware of that concern that we have in the community and working towards that goal.
We did hire Josh and I think it's Angela. that they're taking the role of that for the last, 2 years we've hired him. So they're working at it. There's grants out there for childcare right now. All they have to do is get a hold of them, and they'll help you through the paperwork and like playground stuff or toys or anything like that, or put up a fence, and we've granted that already. What they get, they bring to the county commissioners, and then we vote on it. And if it fits the criteria that we have set forward with that, then they'll get approved, and then they can start their projects. So like put doors in, screen doors, and any child safety equipment or anything like that. So, thank you.
Bob, go ahead. Yeah, as Bob mentioned, we hired that firm. It didn't come cheap, but the county took it upon themselves to be the champion on this daycare problem or solution. There is going to be a solution plan at the historical building, or the what we used to call the Armory, on October 2nd at 11:30. So they seem to have some of those solutions, and they're going to announce them on October 2nd at the Armory building. So you're invited.
Thank you. Robert. Now, we're talking about housing, and of course there are other needs that are talked about across the state and across the country, but rather than try to cover each of those, I'm going to start and ask you, Bob, what do you think that as a county commissioner you could potentially lobby for or advocate for to try to improve a certain situation, whether it's housing, whether it's clearing up this cannabis business that the state has made a mess of? That's maybe my opinion, I don't know. But anyway, what can you do as a county commissioner to say, hey, we need to get this done in Nobles County?
For one, the candidacy should have never happened, in my opinion. And the laws, they passed it and brought it down to the counties. And that's hard enough for us to do the regular stuff, but let alone trying to do that. And our Braden, our lawyer, county lawyer, he's been working on that for, I don't know, 2 years now, I would say. So, and has not got any good direction from the cannabis up in the cities to figure out where and how it's going to be permitted. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that I was up to Alexandria, we had an AMC, Associated of Minnesota Cities up there, and I'm on transportation, that board up there, and everybody's begging for money for roads and bridges and stuff, and there ain't enough to go around, of course. So we might have to talk to our legislators. So anyway, that's one, just everybody's begging for the same amount of money, even more or less. So it's not enough to go around, but they're trying. I gotta give them credit there. So at least there's money for us to get. So we just gotta keep playing. Thank you.
So the question was about cannabis or housing?
Well, no.
Okay, so
Those were
there was
examples
like
that I
three
gave,
different
just-
questions, so
Yeah. It was basically what you feel like you would need to advocate for, want to advocate for as a commissioner at a higher level to tell, for instance, our state legislators, you need to do something about blank.
What's your prayer?
Well, there have been some new laws passed with, in social services that I'm more aware of than I am about cannabis laws. But cannabis laws do affect social services as well when we talk about how do we meet the criteria for screening in cases where there is marijuana use or drug use in homes with children. There's also been laws that require some of our social workers to do active efforts instead of reasonable efforts, which is going to require a lot of work on their part. And they're already pretty maxed out right now. So that's where I would be advocating for is how are we gonna develop some partnerships to make it so our social workers have less stress. Working also with the community to provide parent support groups, mental health and substance use concerns, and other things to help support them.
All right.
Right, yeah, right. Well, there's community support that can work out, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Gene, we'll start with you. According to this question, the Nobles County Community-Based Plan was last done in 2001. The city of Worthington is about to release their updated comprehensive plan. Well, I have the feeling that one of either Justin or Robert's going to take the mic on this. We'll see. But anyway, so the city's working on a comprehensive plan, a new one. Does the county need one? And what needs to be in it, perhaps?
But one place that I really feel strongly about, again, is the social services agency and making sure that there's oversight in those departments, making sure they're managing their money wisely, reaching out for those extra grant dollars, ensuring that we reduce employee turnover at the county level so that we don't have to pay for that new hire training. Encouraging continued education in those departments so that we don't have to reach out for contracts with different sources. Those would be where I would be looking at. It's one of the highest places that we spend our money, and so there should be some strong oversight there.
All right.
Say something else.
Sure. Well, wait.
Me and Bob are Damath, Commissioner Damath, we're on Southwest Minnesota mental health, and for the county to give bundle money to have these services, if we had to ship them off up to Duluth or Fargo, it would cost the county a tremendous more amount of money. So we do take that very seriously. So, not like we don't, so.
Of course not, right.
If I could just segue off of that, we're very close to opening a stabilization center, which used to be in Kids Piece, so that, and there'll be 8 beds. And we have a manager now in the Life Treatment Center who manage it for us. That way we don't have to send our brutally ill, mentally ill people up to Anoka or Annandale at $2,000 a day. We can stabilize them here, find out what their needs are here, and their families can visit them here, and they're not in the emergency room, and they're not in the jail not taking their medications. The other statement I wanted to make was I think we need to invest in Nobles County's workforce. We need to pay them a competitive wage and good benefits, because help wanted is up down the street. I know county government's a little different animal, but we need to retain the good people that we have, and I think that's the only way to do it is to enhance their pay and benefits.
All right. We've been going for about 35 minutes or so we're going to do, I think, our 2-minute closing statements now. And I believe that Gene was the first one to, no, we went down the table. We went right to left. So let's go back the way we came, and we'll start with Gene.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and Ryan for moderating, and all of you for taking the time to engage with us in this discussion. I believe in all the things that taxpayers care about, such as zoning laws and taxes and being fiscally responsible, but it's not my strength. I focus on the things I know, being committed to actively listening to your concerns and addressing them with integrity and changing the tone in our community. I believe in a future where every resident of Nobles County feels safe and valued and proud to call this their home, while still preserving our strong agricultural heritage. After, I have to bring up my daughter, she's not here, but after Saturday's parade, my daughter was overwhelmed with emotion And that was really special to me. She knows who I am and she knows where my heart is. And she asked me, do you know how brave you are and how proud I am to have you as my mom? And so that's really why I'm running for county commissioner, leaving a legacy for our future of our community and one that our kids can be really proud of. So I'm committed to working to make the county a better place for all of our residents. And that's no matter what position I'm in. I'm always going to be here serving in some way. So thank you.
Not gonna make a long speech, of course, because I don't do that kind of stuff. And the other thing is, thank you for coming and supporting one of us, I should say. So no matter where your vote is, that I appreciate to have your votes. And the other thing is that I would like to see everybody, as Jean would say, that try to unite everybody, which would be a very pleasant way for your neighbors to get along and together, do things together, all that kind of stuff, I would say. And the other thing is that I would appreciate your vote. So thank you for coming out.
Well, yeah.
We're going to do closing to that.
Okay. Well, my closing remarks is as I mentioned in my opening remarks, I've been an insurance agent for 31 years, and being a county commissioner is no different. You have your constituents, and a county commissioner, you have your customers as an insurance agent. You find out what their needs are, what their wants are, and then go to the company and tell them, this is my customer, this is the needs that they have, not necessarily the wants, but I hear about the wants too. But, it's really no different. So I would look forward to be honored to have your vote here in District 4 for the next 4 years. Thank you. Here, I guess. Okay.
Well, Bob had to give one, I guess I better too. Just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and I appreciate your support, and appreciate it again for another 4 years.
Thank you, everyone. Now, I heard that you can vote as early as Friday, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So get out and start voting. Vote early and only once. Election day. So thank you again very much for coming and have a wonderful rest of your evening.